Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Aspinall. And also joining me is the man, the myth, the legend, is Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What up, everybody listening?
Hey, buddy.
So good night. Dropped a couple bombs on me earlier, but we're going to get into that.
Oh, yeah. Also joining us through Discord, it is the disembodied voice of our Edgelord producer, Big News, Brian.
Hey, what's up, nerds?
Hey, buddy. Oh, my goodness. We have a bit of a gauntlet to get through today, so let's not waste any time, and let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram as well.
Oh, yeah. Brian?
You can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline, and if you want to follow my socials as well, you can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, especially because we do a really good chapter of the week poll every week. So, yeah. Let your voice be heard. I have the winners for this week already on lock. And the poll usually goes up after the chapters are released in America here on Viz's website. So do that. Cast your vote. Let your voice be heard. If you want to follow the show at all, we are on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. Like, share the videos, all the things. If you like the show, please comment below. Also, let us know what you thought about this week's comics and manga. And if you prefer audio podcasts, we're on pretty much every podcast platform there is. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are on there. So check us out. Yeah, I did all the like, subscribe stuff. So that's it. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com if you have any suggestions, questions, comments, anything you guys want to talk to us about. That would be the place to reach us. So get at us there. Without further ado, I believe it's time we get the show started. It is time to do our manga stuff. One Piece. We are starting with One Piece, chapter 1023, Spinning Image. And last we left our heroes, Zoro and Sanji just sprung into action to take down King and Queen. Luffy is getting prepared for combat down below off of Onigashima, and yeah, everything's looking like it's swinging back to where it's supposed to be. You know, momentum's finally catching up to our heroes. Sanji and Zoro just delivered a devastating blow to King and Queen, but you know, they're still around as we start this chapter. They're just lying on the ground like, whoa, did that just happen? It's pretty cool. The other fucking randos in the background tried to snipe Zoro, but Kawamatsu cuts them. Is just like, stay out of their way. And pretty much Hyogoro commands his squad to go take care of the like small fries in order for Sanji and Zoro to take on the big fish here. I think Izo comes in to save Marco for a minute because he's just sitting there. I guess just like not even really paying attention. So yeah. Izo takes him away, and Zoro and Sanji start to lock into battle with King and Queen. Queen starts to shoot lasers at everybody, and Sanji lets out like an oof, like he's hurt or something. And Zoro's like, what the hell is going on with you? And Sanji says that ever since he put on the raid suit, his body's been feeling a little off. So I'm like, whoa, what could that mean?
I have thoughts.
Ooh. Yeah, if there's anything this chapter accomplished, is that it gave me so many thoughts.
This chapter set the community abuzz.
I imagine. Yeah, they revealed just so much going forward. But yeah, Zoro and Sanji ward off the attacks of King and Queen respectively. He's asking. Then Queen notices that like when Sanji uses his Diable Jambe, Queen is like, "Hey, I heard you guys are all cyborgs. Is that true? Is that why your leg just gets on fire?" And Sanji's like, "Nope, I'm all human, dude. I couldn't become a cyborg." And yeah, Queen lets out to like, "How does your leg just get on fire?" And it's kind of funny how we were all just like, "It's One Piece. That's why." This entire time, and the whole time, Oda had like an actual explanation, probably.
I like how
probably.
I like how Queen's the only person to ever question this.
Yeah.
Like ever. Out of everyone he has ever fought, he's the only one who was like, "Yo, why do your leg do that, dude?"
I think he's one of the only ones that had the time to think about it.
Yeah. It's kind of it's interesting, you know.
Before he got kicked in the head.
Yeah. Because Sanji doesn't
know?
even need to spin around anymore in order to do Diablo Jambe, so it's extra weird now. Like, because before you can make the argument that it's like, oh, it's just, he spins around at such a high speed that the friction of the ground with his foot just sets his foot on fire. But now he's just like, it just comes on, which is pretty cool. And as Queen mentions the Lunarian, King looks over like,
Oh yeah. Stop talking my business, nigga.
You're not supposed to reveal that fact. But yeah, Sanji does this crazy ass wheel kick, and Queen uses his armament haki to defend it. Meanwhile, King is fighting Zoro. He has this sword that has it's like a comb. It just like cuts it and it catches Zoro's swords, allows him to disarm it. And then King just comes in with brass knuckles or like spike knuckles and just like tries to knock Zoro out in the face. But Zoro finally uses his mouth sword to like do something. I was like, oh, that's what it's for.
He got his face, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, Zoro's like, I see, a killer machine, huh? He's like, yeah, do I need to fight you old school in order to fight? And Zoro's like, yeah, you did. You never did say you were a swordsman, so I guess that's fine.
Right.
Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm agreeing. It's true.
Yeah.
Never said that.
Yeah. So as they're about to get ready for battle, Kawamatsu in the background says that like when Lady Hiyori gave him the sword, there was no reason that he couldn't bring himself to not help him. And Hyogoro actually drops some info on Zoro, kind of, sort of, maybe. Apparently, Zoro looks exactly like this old daimyo of the Ringo territory on Wano known as Shimotsuki Ushimaru. And it just looks exactly like Zoro, but with like a ponytail type thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. We get a little visit.
Isn't that the guy whose sword he returned? Or the guy who fought in Thriller Bark?
No, because they mention him later.
Okay.
Well, apparently Ryuma, the guy that Zoro fought on Thriller Bark, is a descendant of this guy. So they're making the connection that Zoro is also a descendant of Ryuma as a result, to some degree.
Yeah, Ryuma had the same color of hair as Zoro too, like during Thriller Bark. Like that guy did remind me of Zoro when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like, related to Zoro. He has the same hair color. He's a swordsman.
He was a one-eyed swordsman, just like Zoro. And what did Ryuma do? What was he famous for, guys? He slayed a dragon.
What was he?
The sword.
He slayed a dragon.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, wait, the IRL or in One Piece?
In One Piece. Ryuma slayed a dragon, and that's like how he's known.
Just like a pirate dragon, like Kaido, or
I guess not like Kaido, but that's like the legend behind him.
Like a wild
dragon, like Dragon Knight.
Oh shit!
He slayed a wild Dragon Knight.
Wano's a crazy place, man.
I guess so. I don't know, man. But yeah, that's all we get out of that. Meanwhile, on the treasure room on the second floor, we return to Jack's battle with Dogstorm. And Dogstorm just like grabs his dumb mammoth trunk and just slings him out of the goddamn window. Jack continues to proceed his reputation of getting his ass whooped at every turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the whole time they're talking about how like everything that the Minx did to prevent him from finding Raizo, and he's like, we did this shit. We were ready to die this whole time. We would let a city of 1,000 years fall to ensure that we reached this decisive battle. Only by winning this fight, whatever the cost, will a new dawn come to the world. And meanwhile, what did you say, Josh? Sorry, you cut out for a sec.
Just said, wow.
Yeah. And meanwhile, his counterpart, Cat Viper, is also transforming into his Sulong form. After, like, Perospero feels like he's done. He's not even up yet. And Cat Viper turned into his ultimate form to continue to put the beats on him. Gotta love Cat Viper. He said, I hope you're watching, Pedro. If you got a drink, have a drink if you got one. But use lick spittle. He called him a lick spittle. It's like the oldest insult in the planet. That's like what people called each other in the 30s.
Damn.
He's like, you lick spittle, this is the last moon you'll ever see. Yeah. Oda doesn't kill people, but Cat Viper does. He's gonna kill Prospero. Meanwhile, back at the second floor, we get a little bit of the ninja battle. They're still doing their thing. And we cut over to the Tokage port in Udon, and we see Law's crew just like kind of freaking out. He's like, oh shit, what is he doing here? It's Kaido. Do we have to fight him right now? And then the next page is a 2-page spread of a giant dragon standing before Luffy. And obviously, this is Momonosuke, who has been aged up by Shinobu. And this is his like adult dragon form. I thought this 2-page spread looked fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's like like a legendary moment in like this universe's history. It just like looks really cool. But that's where the chapter ends, is that Luffy looks up to Momonosuke and says, let's go take back Wano.
All right. First of all, when I first read this and I turned the page, because the last thing I seen was they said it was Kaido. I seen Luffy like stand like this dragon, and I was like, damn, he got up there and he's about to fight already. They skipped all of that. And then, as I was looking at the picture, it just, came to my mind, and this is epic.
Oh my god.
I think Brian mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but the implications as far as like he's the son of Odin, but Kaido's the one that killed his pops and almost killed him, but he's a dragon, as well, which is the mark of the person that killed his pops. It's an interesting combo. I know there's a lot more layers of storytelling, as far as the folklore, I guess, like the Japanese folklore behind, I guess, what the dragon represents, and the cycle of father and child versus, evil oppressor, etc. Anyway, this is beautifully done.
Yeah, I mean, this is my really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Wrong one.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
And also, Sanji, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I think there's 2 ways to look at this, right? There's literally only 2 ways, unless it's something completely different and Oda's trying to throw us off. He either got changed when he put the suit on, when he put the robot armor on. He either changed his body, or he already had it, like the mechanisms, like from birth. That I guess I remember his mom doing something to him so that his dad wouldn't take advantage of him and turn him into one of those like heartless, emotionless kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get basically it was either done. He was either born with it or it happened after the suit. I think it happened after the suit.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, because the suit is doing stuff to Sanji. That's for sure. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what parallels he's drawing here. Maybe there's something in the cyborg shit that he gives to his kids that's Lunarian in nature, maybe. Because Judge and the Germa Kingdom are from the North Blue. So, like, and obviously the Lunarians would have lived on the Red Line. So, I don't know. Maybe something happened with Judge to be able to do that.
So here's what I think. So you see how every kid has their own special ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those abilities have to come from something, right? And it's not a devil fruit per se. So maybe for Sanji, they wanted heat. They wanted something fire related, but they couldn't get access to a flame devil fruit of sorts to kind of experiment with. So instead, they did something in relation to Lunarian people. So they experimented with Lunarians, and they created like a special ability that could use flame without, using a devil fruit.
Yeah, I don't know what it could be.
But the thing is, this wouldn't really make that much sense. Well, actually, it would have to be that, like, maybe the potion that they took to suppress Sanji's power wasn't as powerful as we seem, wasn't as suppressing as we once thought.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because remember, his mom took a potion to
You're right. Yeah, I remember that.
So it looks like that wasn't as strong as once thought, and it seems like the Germa power still comes out through him. So that means maybe the raid suit kind of is starting to unlock those latent Germa powers.
Yeah, maybe. But the Germa powers, I think, are like post birth. They're born as humans, and then Judge would just do shit to make them not human anymore after everything's said and done. But I don't know.
Was it? I thought it was at birth because remember didn't she take it like as they were giving birth?
I could be a way to negate.
All right, so remember in Boruto how the dude that was controlling karma or trying to put it into the kids, he had to get a correct vessel first.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's similar to that where like he modifies them, but you still have to have like the right vessel, like the right genetics.
Yeah. So
what she probably did was whatever the potion did probably nullified those genetics that made it like so that it seemed as if the what do you call it? The robotic stuff wasn't viable.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. As far as Zoro's thing, it pretty much makes sense. I think everybody and their mom was like, "Oh shit, Zoro's probably from Wano, or got some lineage from Wano of some sort." But and this chapter kind of all but confirms that in a way. Yeah, lots of lore building here. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that One Piece is also not on break next week. So
yeah. It's nice to see.
I don't know if this is a real thing, but I've heard that this is the first time that we'll have 4 consecutive chapters of One Piece since 2010.
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't know if it's true. Don't quote me on it. I think I read it somewhere. I could be wrong.
Okay, Oda.
But
are we about to get another time skip after this?
I mean, that'd be
4
weird.
weeks straight.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
Excited. But yeah, this is a really good chapter. Brian, this is not your really good chapter of the week?
We
don't have time for you to decide right now, Brian. Make or break.
Nah.
Damn.
It was close though. It was close.
I guess I know which
it was
one
really
it is.
close.
So, I mean, what else could you say? It's a fantastic chapter. I love it so much. I read it like a bunch of times over again. That's how you know a good One Piece chapter came out, is when I got to read it like, fuck yeah, this was great. But all right, I guess we should move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let's do it. My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 324. A Young Woman's Declaration. So we start off with like a little like narration from Uraraka. She always liked seeing happy people. She would always like watch her parents be exhausted, which was painful to see. And when she saw heroes in action for the first time, her gaze went straight to the crowd, because I imagine, people were happy when heroes showed up. And we cut over to the present, where Uraraka is still making an impassioned plea to the people to take back Deku and allow him to stay over there. One of the bystanders is like, "You want us to look at him? So what? You tell me that we should be covered in filth too?" And I'm like, damn, they're so mean.
Gee, yeah.
Why are they like
people are
this?
the worst.
For real, these are the worst people.
They're just spoiled.
I mean, this is a lot though.
For sure.
But yeah, she just keeps begging them to let him have a moment's rest and take a fucking shower. And she's basically like thinking to herself that like she just wants to like see people smile again, and she continues to scream out. It's like, "If you want me to stand up here and reassure you, I'm sorry I can't do that, but we're all gripped by the same fear." And we cut over as she's narrating that we see that there's this hero that comes out, and he's all beat up and stuff. As everybody's cheering, she like takes a glance at this guy who's just like holding his arm, and then she sees him in his like vulnerable state. But this guy quickly is just like, "I did it," just to like, I guess, ease her worries. And she gets pretty hyped up too as a little baby. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's like Midoriya.
Yeah.
And he got excited watching all night.
Yeah. So, she even remembers Toga for a minute. And she remembers how like Toga probably needed help, and if she had like kind of compassion in her life, she probably would have become like a serial murderer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she basically continues on. She's like, Izuku Midoriya is the guy. He's the chosen one, but he also still has a lot to fucking learn. He's just a regular high school kid. So she says, this place is his. And over the course of this chapter, Midoriya is just breaking down into tears. And he just like kind of falls to his knees. Just like, this is a very strong parallel that is actually drawn from way earlier in the series that we'll talk about later. But he just like falls to his knees, and over him falling to his knees, we hear, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. The next 2 pages, there's a 2-page spread of Midoriya amongst the crowd of people on his knees, and she yells out, "This is his Hero Academy. Let him stay here." And we get another splash page of just Midoriya's face crying. In that moment, we see the animal lady that he saved earlier this arc, as well as Koda, young Koda, with the same sneakers that Midoriya has on, just running towards him, and over them trying to console Deku. The caption reads, "This story of how we all became the greatest heroes."
Another golden age.
Okay.
Rereading
guess
this
you would
chapter
probably
made me
still
certain.
right?
This is my RGC.
Yeah.
Rereading this chapter made me certain.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
real quick, if I could get into it.
Go for
I
it, Brian.
love this chapter because of it's just good character work, you know? And it's not often that it's been a while since we've gotten good character work from characters out like in 1A. Like aside from like Todoroki or Bakugo or Deku. You know what I mean? Like we've gotten moments for Ida, we've gotten moments for Kirishima, we've gotten moments for so many people, but it always seemed like Uraraka was behind when it came to that. But this just, it's just such a wholesome moment. It's such a heartwarming moment. Seeing her kind of like try to pull Deku in back into society, try to convince society to pull Deku back in, and it's kind of like bringing him back a little bit. It's not just bringing him back to school; it's bringing back his old self, like his more optimistic self, his more boyish fanboy self. Like you could see, like like her fighting for him this much is something that he's not used to letting just happen. He's used to being the person to try to make the change in the world himself, and seeing someone fight for him in a way that he can't help her at all, it has to be really stressful for him, but it also has to be like really comforting to have somebody to advocate for you this hard and against all odds. It's just such a beautiful scene, and to also have like the fruits of your labors show up to help you as well at the end of the chapter, like people that you have personally touched with your work on top of all that. Like this was just such a beautiful chapter when it comes to that. So and also to top it all off, I feel like Deku's story isn't like they're really trying to hammer it home that Deku isn't All Might. He's just not. Deku's power isn't to be the person who's gonna carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's not the guy who's gonna like take on all the problems in the world and come out clean. He's going to get grimy. He's going to get dirty if he does that shit by himself. He's going to go into a dark place. And what this chapter solidified is that Deku is at his best when he brings people together. When he's the centerpiece that holds people together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a really good turning point for my hero, where Deku's starting to see what he's good at, what he's going to bring to the table as a hero. And I'm really excited to see what he does next with this next chapter, because I know this was a continuation of the last one. So I'm curious where they're going to go with this next, because I assume this is the end of Uraraka's little moment, and I really did enjoy it. Like, this was a really nice moment for Uraraka. I hope we see more of it from here on out, as a little liaison between the public and heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stepping into that leadership role
For sure.
It's like we talked about last week, man. This is a real good look for a character like her. So even if she doesn't get super lit combat scenes, she'll always have a vital role to play, and she'll get a lot of screen time, and that's mature. It's also a nice little role model for a lot of young girls that are definitely into the anime, if not reading the manga. A lot of people into the series, with a lot of different backgrounds, so it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot for Uraraka, like I said before.
You want to go into your overall thoughts, Josh? I have some stuff that might take a while for me because I've.
All right, so I had something I want to say, and then I'll respond to, I guess, your thoughts too, or me and Brian will. But I was really annoyed by, I guess, how do I put it? Like the citizens that the heroes are trying to defend and all of that, and that are arguing back at Midoriya, and had to reflect and basically come to the point that I was projecting how I felt about things going on, in the real world around me onto this manga in a kind of weird way. So, with all of the cases of police brutality and, overextending of the law, like overreaching and overextending of the law, and all of the stuff I've been learning about, honestly, their ineffectiveness around the country, it just makes me very defensive when I think about how people feel like we need to rely on them to deal with crime, et cetera, right? That's a real world problem. But I read this manga sometimes, and I don't want to say it's like propaganda, because I don't believe that's the case at all. But it was giving me those vibes where like the people just seem so whiny and helpless, and they needed these heroes to save them, and that's totally ignoring the point that I believe has been made very solidly, is that these people are spoiled and have been taken care of, and that's I believe, like I mentioned in last week's pod, that's the point Shigaraki was trying to make, and even some of the other characters like Stain, or I guess others I can't remember right now because of the pace of the series. So yeah, I fixated on that point, realized that the series ain't about that, and this has nothing to do with police in real life, and I feel like I can enjoy this for what it really is, which is really, really careful and timely character development, and there's just so much more ahead, and I'm starting to feel good and positive again. Yeah. It's like a roller coaster, but I feel like this is going to be a continuous upward. Yeah, like ain't no more. That's it, just up to the sky like the King of Ka. Then it's gonna come all down at the end.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's funny. I liked this chapter all right. Pretty much all the way through. I was like, this is cool. And then that 2-page spread happened. And then I started seeing what he was doing. Like, if you go back, this whole time you see that, like, as Deku is like falling apart and falling to his knees, it's an exact mirror of the events, what happened when All Might approached him and chose him to be like his inheritor for One For All. Like, he also did the same thing. He like fell to his knees. You see his like clutching his chest. He falls down. And it's the same thing. Starts crying. And I think it's like a reversal of everything. Like Deku's being saved again, or being given purpose again.
It almost feels like a rebirth.
Mm-hmm. And now, it's like this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. And Brian's right, because this is the story of how, it like the pillar of society falls, but the rest of us have to be stable enough to like hold up our own society. Like this is about like a changing of the times and relying on your neighbor more than just focusing on one person to solve all your problems. There's another little bit of interesting thing that I didn't really understand or recognize until this very moment. In that page where the girl that he saved, the animal lady, starts running towards him, you also see Principal Nesu just kind of like tearing up, like thinking about like humanity making true progress. And when you really think about it, it's also Koda who's being like a normal looking human being as we see it running towards him as well. So it's people of both, like, I guess, backgrounds flooding towards him and seeing something in him. I guess symbolizing Deku as the one, like the guy who's going to tie it kind of together, who captures the hearts of pretty much everyone, no matter where they come from or what their background is or what their oppressions may be. And he's their hero in one way or another. I thought that was like an interesting touch. I mean, Deku has been like one of the better main characters I've ever seen. And, you don't really see this where I don't think you've seen this since like Naruto after he beat Pain. This is like his post-Pain kind of moment. Even though like Deku hasn't really accomplished something on the same level, this is a moment where like everybody is going to accept him. You know, like he's going to be recognized as kind of the guy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like this is an interesting turning point for the series. I don't know where it goes development wise for a lot of people. I don't know what this means for One for All, because now it's not just Deku being relied on as the chosen one, which is really cool. It's taking down that myth, which Naruto was kind of supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The idea of like there is no chosen one. You know, it's either you work hard and you become the best, or you know, stuff like that. I don't know.
Right, and then realize you were just the chosen one all along.
Yeah.
Later on.
But you know, you don't have
how
to
it
be.
goes.
Is the point? You know. Yeah, there's a lot, and I'm kind of going on a freewheeling type of thing. But these are the things I've noticed. Is just the parallel to like the very first chapter to now. And Uraraka is the one who does it, who's always just kind of been by his side. You know, it's kind of sweet. I don't know. This was a great chapter. If One Piece wasn't just as cool as it was, this probably would have been my RGC. But it's a slim margin, honestly. But you know what? You know whose RGC it was? The audience's RGC.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified.
Well. Looks like we can agree with each other, huh, audience?
It beat Black Clover too this week, Brian. I put Black Clover on the poll. I believe it was My Hero Academia in first place, One Piece second, and Black Clover third. So, congratulations, Brian. It worked out for you. But no, this is very well deserved.
Guys, good job.
I didn't realize
Keep that up.
This is kind of like a page short of a regular Jump chapter, despite having like a ton of content in it. So,
Yeah.
good for Horikoshi. Yeah, like this chapter a lot. I don't have much else to say. I hope my ramblings wasn't too incoherent, but I feel like I think I made sense in a way. But
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think we all did. I think we all have pretty interesting points.
Yeah. You guys ready to move on to our next series? Let's do it. Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 156, if it lets me load it. 156 Twinkling Stars. Last we left off, Panda and Megumi were fighting off against Kirara to try and get inside to deal with Hikari and try to get him enlisted into the culling game. So last we left off, Megumi summoned a big old rabbit escape Jujutsu thing, which is apparently a sea of rabbits. And the chapter starts off where we notice that there are these markings on each of these rabbits that we even saw on Panda at one point. And Megumi starts to notice them. There is this little star on the rabbits with the name Acru. I think that's how you pronounce it. Acru, Acru on it. And on the door, on the exit to inside the building, says Gekru or Gakru, whatever you say it. So yeah, Kirara thinks to himself, there's a lot of rabbits, but why? My cursed techniques marks cursed energy, so he considers Shikigami sorcerers as well. So they start to think that if Megumi keeps up the rabbit escape, they'll just continue to he'll just continue to attract rabbits to him, and it'll suffocate Megumi. So
Yeah.
I guess Megumi just I mean, I don't know if this is Megumi undoing the technique or Kirara just exploding all these rabbits, which is pretty dark. But
I think he exploded them.
yeah.
And because Kirara looked shocked.
Yeah. Okay. So from here on out, we start to get a little bit more insight into what Kirara's technique is. Panda said, Megumi learns that Panda has the Imai marking on his butt, and Megumi himself has the Acrux on his like side. So he realized that his divine dog has a mark probably as well. So he shouts out to Panda that the basis of the cursed technique is a constellation. And Kirara's like, oh shit. He's starting to figure it out. And Megumi basically is like, the constellation is the Southern Cross. And Kirara basically gives it away with their face. And so now that Kirara realizes that this guy's putting it together pretty fast, that they realize that they have to hold it right there and try to like not let him get to the exit, basically to the monitor room. So here's the supposition. I'm gonna skip all of the, I guess, conjecture about what Kirara's technique is and explain what it is. I have to read this a couple times to really understand what Kirara's technique is. Okay, so basically, they mark things and people with these stars based on a constellation. In this case, it's the Southern Cross constellation. And once they mark them, in order to get close to one of the markings, you have to get past another marking that's closest to you based on what the constellation is. So in the beginning, Megumi realizes that Panda and Megumi can get close to each other because they are the nearest stars to each other on this constellation, the Southern Cross. He is the Acrux star. Panda is the Imai star. They don't know what Kirara's star is, and they know that the exit is marked with the Gakrux star. So they figure there's a determined order that you need to hit these, I guess, checkpoints to simplify it in order to get to the next star. And they suppose that there's probably a fifth star, apparently. So, they just try to find what it is. The basic rules of the technique is that if there's two things with the same star marked, they can't throw that thing or person anywhere because they'll just attract it. Say, as we see with Panda. As Panda runs over to take down Kirara stomps on this car, and it just like floats towards Panda because it has the Amai marking on it, and so does Panda. So Panda just attracts it. Panda tries to throw the car, but it just like returns to him immediately because it's always just going to attract to him because they have the same star. So yeah. And it's not just that. Kirara doesn't really mark things. It marks cursed energy. So that's why Divine Dog and the Rabbit Escape was also marked. Because it comes from Megumi's cursed energy. He's the Acrux star.
And also how he's able to throw the car because Kirara charged it with cursed energy.
Yeah, with the Amai star.
Et cetera.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the door as well.
Yeah, the door has a different star that Megumi can't approach it because he's not the closest thing to the constellation. So he has to clear both whatever the fifth star is and also Kirara in order to get close to the star, and in order to get close to the door. So in running away and trying to avoid everything, he notices the fifth star on this little parking thing. He taps it, which allows him to now be able to get to Kirara. And as he runs over, he notices that there's just a bunch of debris and shit just flying at him because Kirara has marked every one of them with Megumi's star. So they'll just all attract to him if they throw it at him. So that's the whole deal. The thing claps down on Megumi, and Kirara's like, you figured out my cursed technique, but you were too quick to conclude that I can't throw more objects. I can simply remove the Ginon star on my cursed energy and mark things with the Acrux star. So I guess like they can't do more than 5 stars at a time. So they would have to remove the Ginon star that was on them to mark more things with the Acrux star, I guess. If that makes sense. Is this all making sense to you? Because this is me reading it like 3 times in order to fucking figure it out.
Yeah, I mean that's how Kirara was able to send them projectiles at Megumi in the first place because he hit that star. So he's like, "Ah, you got that star, but now because you're in that, you're in that order, I can send these directly to you."
Right. But
because otherwise he was just repelling.
Exactly. But now that they removed their star off of them, the divine dog pulls up behind Kirara because Megumi never dispelled the divine dog, actually. And I did notice that at first. I was like, oh, yeah, he never did get rid of the divine dog. He grabs it, and because the divine dog also has the Acrux star, because it's directly tied to Megumi's cursed energy, it starts to attract towards them with Kirara in hand, because they have no star, so they're able to be approached by Megumi's cursed energy. And it pulls them in, and Megumi, I guess, disarms her or neutralizes Kirara, and that's where the chapter ends. He says, "Just listen, please." All right. This was a very fun chapter to read. It took me a couple, and maybe it's because of my reading comprehension, or that sometimes Akutami is very, very vague in his language when describing jujutsu techniques. So,
very slangy.
We've definitely had this issue before. Yeah, we definitely had this issue before where we were like, "What are you talking about?" But
this is the typical Jujutsu Kaisen chapter.
Yeah.
Like, this is as JJK as it gets.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I'll be honest. I still think like Jujutsu Kaisen is probably one of my favorite power systems ever. Even now, even when I had to read it a couple times, I do love that, it is a game. These techniques are basically games that you have to you have to fulfill conditions in order to fight people. It's very strategic. And once I understood, and I don't know if I explained it well, but I get it in my head. It makes sense to me. And once I understood that, I'm like, all right, this is fucking cool. This is kind of interesting. And, it's a way to keep battles fresh from battle to battle. I mean, I loved it. Although it wasn't...
This is like smart Bleach.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
It is smart Bleach, you're right.
Like, when you think about the Zanpakutos and the Bankais, right? Whenever they had a cool new move, that they didn't really have too much strategy around it. It was just, all right, now this move could just violate your shit unless you can directly counter me. Which most of the time, that's
the case.
What happened. But this is a smart way to have all that flash shit, because I was thinking, because whenever you talk about the power system, I always have this thought back where I'm like, is it really that great? And it's because it's very vague, but it's you have to also know, like, as you read Jujutsu Kaisen, the author, you have to trust him. You have to trust that he's going to create each of these wacky abilities with some sort of balance to it.
These goofball abilities. Yeah. Every one of these abilities has is not invincible 100% except for Gojo's, but that's like a whole different story. But yeah,
like they all get balance patches, and he can update it throughout his series. If someone's power seems too broken, he can nerf it and add some conditions to it that they didn't talk about. Oh, I didn't mention this before, but I can only do such and such when X and Y occurs. You get it?
Yeah.
Smart. It's really smart. I think that's what makes the power so cool, is that it's very malleable while not being completely ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's so unique. I mean, I don't think there's like a power system or even like a battle system like this series.
It's unlimited potential.
It's so fun to read. Like when the powers are actually really cool, they're so cool. Like Nanami's power is one of my favorite powers ever.
Yeah, it was simple too.
Yeah, rip to Nanami. But yeah, it's such a fun series. Obviously, once it sticks in my dumb little pea brain, that once it all comes together.
Man, you're too modest, man. You're too modest.
But
sometimes just I really think the translations have a lot more to do with it.
I don't know, dog. I think this is just very hard to
Reading
understand.
comprehension.
I think it's genuinely kind of complicated on purpose, but I like it. I think it helps because like it's supposed to be complicated. We're supposed to be putting it together at the same time as Megami.
Yeah.
So, I get
Good
it.
point. Good point. Yeah.
But
it's cool.
Yeah. Interesting power. I can't wait to see what Hikari's fucking power is. Oh my god. I wonder how cerebral that shit is.
Wait, quick shout out real quick. I mean, like I said, this really was a typical Jujutsu Kaisen chapter, and I mean that like in more positive ways than negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he used his rabbits, which is a movement / escape option. He used it to map, to kind of get more of an idea of what Hikari's ability is and its scopes and limitations.
Yeah.
Or a little peep into the thought process. It's always those little touches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megami's very smart. But I don't know. That's all I gotta say about Jujutsu Kaisen. What a fun read. Are you guys ready to move on? Brian, you didn't say anything about this Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. What did you think?
He thinks it wasn't better than My Hero Academia.
Obviously. Now, what is? What is in his mind? I don't think he's even here. Well, in any case, it's fine. We'll just move on, I suppose. It is time to go to our American books. America! Fuck yeah! Batman, Fear State Alpha, #1. All right, so we got a big old event, I guess, Batman event. Starting with this. I mean, maybe it's not an event. Maybe it's just like the one-shot intro that they do sometimes in America.
Yeah.
But anyway, Fear State Alpha #1. And we start off in many months ago when Saint, one of the villains for this run of Batman, first approached Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, about his whole deal. And he's basically like, why are we not in the visitors room? And he's like, because I'm rich and I paid off Arkham because this place sucks. Why do they keep sending people here? So, basically we get the origin of their partnership. He basically found Jonathan Crane and asked him to help him out with his Fear State thing and help him make the world a better place by delivering such a shock to the collective population system that they'll be stronger for it later. And Crane's like, okay, I'll need $25 million.
Right now.
I'll need $25 million, lots of chemicals, lab space, and a good deal of burlap and rope, which is nice.
Hey.
I thought it was really funny because it's like I'm obviously going to make myself a new dumb Scarecrow costume.
Yeah, that's how this works.
Yeah, you don't get you don't get me if you don't get the costume together.
Right.
And at that point, that's when we cut over to the present, where, as we know from the previous Batman issues, Scarecrow has just decided to go rogue. Like, fuck Sane Industries, I'm doing this shit on my own. I can't believe you didn't even see this coming. And at the moment, he has Batman sedated by his super fear toxin. And he's talking to him this whole time about how his intentions are not overall good. He is doing this for scientific curiosity, but at the end of it all,
mostly,
yeah. But at the end of it all, he sees this as he's doing Gotham a favor because he thinks that like after he's done, they'll just be like Gotham will be a stronger place. The people of Gotham will be stronger for it. And after that we get kind of a 2-page summary of what's been going on so far through the news with the Peacekeeper and all that. Speaking of the devil, this Peacekeeper just like wanders outside because he is still high on Scarecrow toxin.
He's wasted on Scarecrow toxin, bro.
This is your brain on Scarecrow toxin. It's not good. And people are trying to get in contact with him, and he's like, they're not real. The voices in my head. And they're just like, pull it together, man. Fuck, we need you. So, he's like, we need you to save Gotham City. And he's like, Gotham? I need to save Gotham City. And I guess that's where it ends. We see a giant ship in the sky. Is that what I'm seeing? Because I think like it's a little obscured.
Yeah, he's seeing things.
Yeah.
I mean, there is apparently a UFO in the sky over. I guess that's where the Saint dude works.
I guess.
Where they've been up. I didn't know that. I didn't realize they were in a fucking UFO.
Yeah. I didn't think they had
real creepy.
I didn't think they had a shield helicarrier on deck, but they do. Anyway, so Saint is pissed. He's just like, I spent so much money on this fucking guy. What's going on here? And they're like, man, you wanted him to be super stealthy so that Batman couldn't get him. Why are you mad at us? He's like, I don't know, man. I figured that you would make it somewhat easy for me to communicate with him.
Like some type of backdoor for us.
Yeah. So, now they're doing damage control. Saint is basically like, well, fuck him too. We're just going to have to apprehend him, stop Scarecrow, and save this entire program because we look real bad right now. It's not great. And in any case, we cut back over to the GCPD headquarters where Montoya finally gets the mayor on the phone, and she is losing her shit. She's just frustrated left and right. She's just like, dude, I thought you would be different from the other stupid fucking mayors we'd have to deal with in this goddamn city. And mayor's like, nope, I'm the same. I'm the same thing, man. Just more of me. Dumb mayors who are afraid of, Batman and criminals at the same time. So, he's basically like, I'm still sticking with Saint, even after all this shit that's happened. And Montoya just like throws someone else's phone on the floor. Like, damn it. I think we see the guy whose phone it is in the background. Like, oh, fuck. That's actually my phone. So, I guess Renee realizes that like after there's just a bunch of ads for Saint Industries, she realizes like, oh, damn it. They're going to cut all the communications to the outside world. So, fuck. When has this ever worked? Meanwhile, at the clock tower where Oracle works, she gets the Batgirls to put up her ultimate signal that taps directly into the Gotham emergency broadcast system so that she could deliver a message to the people. And it starts off that way, but then all of a sudden the Oracle message just starts playing something completely different. It starts talking about how like Batman's dead and the Gotham citizens should be totally fucking scared right now because Batman's dead and nothing can save them from what's coming next. And Oracle's like, damn it, why are they doing this right now?
Yeah, they got her. Isn't this supposed to be her shit?
Yeah, this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be her shit. But
like you quit being Batgirl to do this.
You really let it go, huh? You really dropped the ball.
Yeah, as soon as it started.
This is your one thing, dude.
Right. Okay, it's all right. Batman's holding the L himself right now, so I guess that's the flavor for the team.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah. After the message, the Scarecrow, or I guess this is maybe not the Scarecrow. I don't know who this is, but they just like cut the line and they speak to Oracle directly. And they're like, they don't want your old truth anymore. They want my new one. So peace. And they explode her computer somehow. It's frustrating. Meanwhile, in Eden, we see Harley with the Unsanity Collective and Ghostmaker following Gardner, who is, I guess, works for Poison Ivy at the moment, who has been possessed by this evil plant thing.
Or something like that.
Something like that. I guess we'll get more of an explanation later.
Yeah, when the event inevitably comes. There's something going on with her, right?
Yeah.
There's an event down the road I remember hearing about.
Something like that. I think this is the event because Tynion's supposed to leave soon off of Batman. So. Anyway, she's just like she can control plants like a swamp bender from Avatar, And she's just like, who goes there? Man, you've defied me and brought all these people here. And Harley...
Not to be that guy right now, but actually, she doesn't just bend the plants. She can create more and spawn more different types of species and varieties.
Damn. I just got schooled. I got schooled. Yeah.
Let's carry on.
In any case, yeah. She does all that thing that Josh said. She creates new plants and all that stuff. And then Harley makes an impassioned plea just like, please don't kill us and let my friends stay here. They have nowhere to go. And, you know, after appealing to her soft side, Poison Ivy's like, okay, they can stay. And, yeah, Gardner has made Harley aware of this other piece of Harley of Poison Ivy that exists out there somewhere, and if Harley can retrieve that piece of her and bring it back, then maybe this Queen Ivy will relax for a goddamn minute, take a chill pill. So Harley accepts the mission for now, and meanwhile, speaking of the devil, I guess this piece of Poison Ivy is actually hanging out with Catwoman right now. Maybe this is something that's happening in Catwoman's book. That I don't read, unfortunately, but apparently, yeah, Poison Ivy's with her. So I guess Harley and Catwoman are going to cross paths at some point. In any case, she comes up and talks to these characters that I've never heard of, probably because they're supporting characters in her book. And they inform her that it was announced that Batman is dead over their airwaves. And she's like, do you really believe that shit? It's Batman. This is his title. He's not gonna die here.
Wait, come on, to the Scarecrow? Stop.
Yeah. We then cut over to, I believe this is Tim Fox, I think that's his name, who is the next Batman, apparently. So, you know, he's I guess he's about to spring into action in his own bat suit.
Son of Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
in
Freeman.
the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. His child.
Yeah. Yeah. That had a lot of good characters, like, you know, Michael Caine as Alfred.
Yeah.
A good supporting cast in that movie. But anyway, we cut back to Batman, who's being talked down to by the Scarecrow. He's like, can you feel it? Can you feel it, Batman? It is like the future state of Gotham is forming beneath us. The pieces are now in place. And then Batman, like Fast and Furious style, flexes out of his restraints and punches Scarecrow away. And just jumps out of the window, you know, and I guess that's where the issue ends. Whereas Scarecrow says, you can go, it's fine. It's too late for you to do anything anyway, Batman. Isn't it always? And that's where the issue ends.
So,
yeah.
is he in the dream already? Or
is this the real life?
Or is it going to start later? What's
What do you mean?
Did his hallucinate?
Hallucination?
Is he hallucinating now?
No, he's good now.
Or is it going to happen later?
I think he's sober.
I don't know. It might have started. He might think he bust out them restraints without that window, but he could still be in fucking La La Land.
It could be both. He could have just like snapped out of La La Land for a minute and just jumped out of the window, but I don't know. I guess what they're trying to say is Batman got away, but it's too late for him. So I guess this is where Batman ends, everybody. Yeah, I mean, this was a very jam-packed issue of stuff. I thought it was very good. There were a lot of really good books this week, and it was kind of difficult. This is man, it's tied, but it's very close. But this is probably not my VGI. Josh, then that means Josh already knows what it is. But I thought it was really cool. Sets up a lot of events. This feels like a pretty big bad event. Do you have any thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, first of all, this is my VGI.
Whoa.
And just like you, it was very close, man. So I had to give it off for
Certified
technicality.
VGI.
Damn.
Alright, so, I'm really big on if a comic makes me think about things, you know, after the fact. whether it's lore or even if it was something that was so fucking hilarious, right? This Batman story that's going on, the theme that they're addressing with the state of fear and how it's used as a tool to, push agendas and influence people a certain way. It's very real. It's a thing that happens every day on our televisions. Whenever you hear about, shootings in the news and all of the silly shit on, when you hear about the politicians going back and forth, et cetera, et cetera. It's just touching on a real subject, and I think that Tinian is going to execute it well because he has been so far. I mean, Dr. Crane himself, when he had that conversation with Saint, he laughed at him as soon as he came to the understanding that he thought that he was going to use his methods of fear to, for what Crane wanted to do, to be able to control society. I have something in his image, he thought it was a ridiculous notion because Crane cares nothing about that. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like I had a point, but I lost it. Maybe. Do you have any thoughts? Maybe it'll come back to me.
No, I mean, I think, I think this is just, again, just interesting. I think you're absolutely right. This is a lot of this arc has just been about fear and, just how the news is a very prevalent feature in this series, in this run. It's the news is on in every issue, and it just, I guess, is a comment on how, mainstream news also likes to push fear sells type of thing. You always hear about the worst news possible at all times. So, I think that was a thing that I thought was interesting. Did you find your point?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go back to actually a line he says to him. He basically says that I don't know if you're gonna like Dr. Crane tells the Saint in this early conversation that I don't think you're gonna like what's on the other side of what I do to Gotham City or society, etc., because you're not gonna be able to control it. And I don't know. I don't have too many deep thoughts about that per se, but I thought it was an interesting. It just fits the theme because you got Saint, who represents the people who try to control using fear, and you got Dr. Crane, who is, I guess, objectively evil because he doesn't give a fuck about the welfare of people. He just wants to see what the result of this is, and which is going to be raw and chaotic. I mean, Saint doesn't want to just regular influence people. He wants to completely change society via fear. It's like seeing their practices backfire on them by pushing the gas too much. That's the best way I can put it. It's just I want to see how where they go with it. I want to see how smart it'll get. You know what I'm saying? How thoughtful it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too. I can't wait for the events to start. I don't know if it's still going to remain monthly or maybe it'll be a crossover with a couple other books, but I guess we'll find out in due time. But that's all I got to say about Batman. It was pretty cool. Yeah, you ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Now we are moving on to our X books. This is Hellions number 15. We're starting with that. Last we left off, the Locust Vial pulled up from Morocco to fuck shit up down on Earth again to find the Hellions who have stolen bits of his DNA and are going to use it for means that he does not approve of. So he's going back. He sent his children back to kill the Hellions again. We open this issue with the bad guys, the robot bad guy dudes, I guess, pulling up onto the coast of Krakoa. They can see it in their little binoculars. And they seem to have made a satellite out of the robot pieces that the Hellions fought before. They get in and they start I guess, talking to the nanny ship that has the tiny little baby AI inside of it. So yeah, that's not going to turn out great for anybody. Not at all. In any case, we cut over to Brooklyn, New York, which is the place where Murder World is, and Sinister and his clone that he sent into Araco to die, basically, have arrived there because Mr. Sinister convinced his clone to pull up, and he'll in order to get him on his side to show them what he's been up to with Tarn's DNA. At that moment, that's when we cut back to the Hellions, where they're fighting against Tarn and the Locust Vial. They're just getting fucked up by the Locust Vial, these Sinister clones that Mr. Sinister has unleashed upon him. And yeah, the Hellions are up Shit's Creek right now without a paddle. It's not looking good for them.
Not at all.
And meanwhile, one of the Locust Vial, known as Amino Fetus, is just trying to eat everyone. Just the grossest villains in the history of all comic books, I think. All of these guys.
Okay, sounds like a One Piece villain.
Yeah,
Gore.
Gore. So, not great. So Psylocke tries to like fucking stop them with her powers, and Tarn's like, "Oh, I felt that one. You're strong, huh?" And I guess Psylocke tries to bargain with him. He's like, "I know where Sinister is. I know what he's doing. If you let us go, then I'll tell you where he is." And Tarn's like, "Tarn does not bargain. He takes." And he tries to go into her mind, but Psylocke is like putting up every last possible psychic defense that she can, and Tarn's like, "Oh, damn. You're going to try to... You're not going to let me in, even if you have to die to do so. All right, fine. I'll make the deal. My word is disease, but my mind is... But Tarn speaks the truth. I'll let you go if you'd let me know where Sinister is."
I like how he states, "I'm a shiesty bastard that lies. However, I am telling the truth right now."
Yeah, you'll have to put...
That was a real fancy way of saying that.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, yeah, he reads Psylocke's mind, and he's like, "What? Blasphemy! Mother Rapture!" And, yeah, I guess he teleports over to Sinister's hideout, where as Sinister's about to reveal what he's been working on, Tarn the Uncaring just pulls up with his portal. And like the Sinister clone's like, "Oh, fuck me."
Immediately.
Yeah, he didn't love it. This book is so fucking funny sometimes, dude. So he says, as soon as he walks in, he says, "Praise who?" And the clone is immediately like, praise Tarn, don't hurt me, please." It's really cool. So at that moment, we get like these intercut moments where Psylocke finally reveals to the team that after they realize that Murder World, where they were at and psychically tortured for a while, that place hasn't been destroyed like they thought. Psylocke reveals that, "Yeah, I kind of did that. I implanted those memories. I took away your memories. Fucked things up for you guys, and I'm sorry." She kind of admits to being Sinister's kind of pawn. At the same time, Sinister reveals what his whole thing is. At the same time, John Greycrow, after learning all this, just decides to go fucking ballistic on Amino Fetus. And
I guess he remembered that they were saying not to. I mean, he listened to them saying, "Oh, like, don't feed them, don't allow them to eat."
Yeah,
and he really keyed in on that.
Yeah, he didn't love that. But yeah, Greycrow just starts to shoot fucking Amino. Oh wait, what's it? Amino Fetus, and apparently when you do that, it just unleashes a bunch of world-eating infants that they don't just like eat life, they eat strands of time. because apparently the fucking amino fetus is part of something called the damnation cycle. It starts off as an abominable germ. It evolves as a heinous subversion of the life force, and then it becomes the accursed embryo, writhing in light. The accursed embryo seeks out a master, which is Tarn, I guess. Then it becomes the amino fetus, and then after the amino fetus, it becomes the atrocious infants, which are the time-eating fucking weirdos that spawn out of his back. And even once Tarn learns about this, he has to teleport back to deal with this, because if the atrocious infants get out, then that's the end of the world, no matter what. So he basically goes up to this guy, to the amino fetus, is like, BRB, I gotta throw my son into this black hole before he destroys the universe. Peace.
And that saves the fucking asses. I mean, Grey Crow knew. He just, like, I was just so... I didn't... all right, look. They gave a whole detailed page about this dude. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that Grey Crow, in all his anger after shooting them up, said, you know what? I'm going to feed this fat, gargantuan... I have no more words for it, actually. It just, I don't know. It was,
yeah.
I guess that's the only issue I had. Even though it's small, you know what I mean? It's not really a big one.
Well, they kind of address it later, because as the atrocious infants are coming out, Psylocke's like, what did you do? And he's like, I don't know, I was very upset. I like that they kind of addressed it, that he like just went blind with rage for a minute. He wasn't really even thinking. He was just like, yeah, I kind of let my temper get the best of me there. My bad. And to be fair, he didn't really know, because all Tarn did was come by and say, please stop doing that. So
he was like, man, fuck you, I don't care. Stop it, I'm gonna keep doing it.
I mean, you know, I guess I get it to a degree. So after this is resolved, the Hellions go back through the Bladefish to find Sinister with his ultimate experiment. And it turns out this entire time, he's been creating a sinister clone of Tarn the Uncaring, which is, I guess, the first chimera that Sinister creates. And chimeras are an important thing in this X-Men mythos, because as we move over to the future, we've seen glimpses of other chimeras, which is just a combination of two different mutants. So interesting. Big, I guess, repercussions coming for this next, for the overall story of the X-Men as a whole. But yeah, they're just like, okay, we got to kill this thing, because we can't have a Sinister Tarn out there. That's double bad.
This is for sure something that needs to be destroyed.
Yeah. But,
however,
yeah, Psylocke is like, wait, please. And says like, tell them, Quanon. Tell them why they won't. And Psylocke's like,
tell them, Quanon.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, he has my daughter. And Grey Crow's like, oh, so that's why you lied to us. And she's like, yes, please, John, don't. And he's like, stop, you don't have to ask. So I guess they were just going to let this happen. And that's when Emmanuel, the empath, just decides to be like, you were told not to play with yourself, Sinister. And as they're activating the Tarn Sinister clone, empath just turns Havoc into a violent sociopath again. And apparently, empath might have been just like an agent of Emma this entire time, Emma Frost, because he whispers up to his ear and says, Emma says hello, as Havoc just destroys the entire lab and possibly Quanon's daughter as well. Damn. And that's where the issue ends. This is my VGI.
Certified VGI.
I thought it was fantastic.
So who was this that suggested that Havoc be on the team?
Empath? Everybody who's on this team has been put there by the by the council.
Black Council.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's not their call.
Meaning that Emma could have had a hand in any or all.
Yeah, any or all.
Right. So it seems like it was set up that like he was put on the team to do this. All right, so
Well, specifically, I guess to keep an eye on
interpreted
Sinister.
this as Emma took over this empath's mind, like
Maybe.
used him as a how do I put it? Infiltrated his mind so that he could unlock that part of Havoc through his emotional spectrum, I guess.
Well, empath can do that. His ability is that he manipulates emotions. So he can just do that to people. It's not that he's a mind reader or whatever.
No, Emma wouldn't be able to.
She can.
Oh, she wouldn't be able to use his ability through
No,
him, right?
probably not. No.
All right, so he probably is a sleeper agent, like you said.
Yeah, I think he's just like he was probably sent in there by Emma or assigned there by Emma to keep an eye on Sinister.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. It's so weird to see Hellions have like kind of a big impact on the story overall. Like this is the Chimera.
Huge impact, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you look on that watch list and see Inferno looming ahead.
God damn.
This has to have huge implications.
Oh yeah.
And then even the next, New Mutants kind of synergizes really well with the Hellions.
Well,
Believe it or not. But I guess we'll get into that.
when you think about it as well, Emma knows the whole thing, right? She knows about like the many futures. So maybe she's like she knows about the one where Sinister is a fucking asshole and sells them all out.
Wait, she's in on it?
Right? Remember, like she was one of the few people that Xavier and Magneto brought in first. And I think she knows about Moira and all that stuff. And I think if she knows about Moira, she knows about all the futures, right?
Yeah, I would assume that. So look, are you sure she knows about Moira?
I'm not 100% positive. I wish. Brian, do you happen to be here? No. All right. Well.
Okay.
In any case, yeah, I think. I mean, I don't think it's that much of a stretch. I think it's hard for me to remember all the way back. I can't really look it up right now, but yeah. In any case, we'll just I guess reveal that later when we find out our findings on that. But in general, I thought this was a great issue. Hellions in general is probably one of the best X books out there, surprisingly. So pick it up if you can. It's so fun. Even without like the big impact stuff, it's still a fun read regardless. Very into it. Any final thoughts before we move on to our next book?
No.
With that, we have New Mutants number 21. Last we left off, Gabby, the scout, the clone of X-23, has been murdered by the Shadow King, and the kids that she hangs out with have been trying to have the resurrection protocols work for her, because as it stands right now, there seems to be some at least vagueness over whether clones can be resurrected or not, due to what's going on with with what happened with Madeline Pryor, her being a clone of Jean Grey, and them refusing to resurrect Jean Grey. Oh, not Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor. So, that's a whole to do. There's a little bit of a B plot on this issue involving a space field trip with Warpath, the kids, trying to clean up. I guess this is the Summers house. Just a little community service project, fun times in space, and they get attacked by the Brood. It turns out that there is a rebel tribe of Brood just wilding out there, as according to Brew, who is a character that is a little bit near and dear to my heart because he is from Wolverine, the X-Men, and I value all those kids very much. I don't know where EDA is, though. She hasn't pulled up in a long time.
Who's that again?
The temperature girl. She was supposed to have like this romantic thing with Quentin. Remember her? Yeah, it was a long time. That's fair. In any case, it's not important right now. I was just thinking about her. EDA, if you're out there, I'm thinking about you. Whoa. Okay. Meanwhile, we cut over to Krakoa, where we have everybody just addressing the new mutant children about what the fuck they're doing with Gabby's body and trying to get into the Arbor Magna, I think it's called, where they do most of the resurrections. And they explained that, like, yo, we just came here because Gabby was murdered, and we know that there aren't really laws about resurrecting clones. You guys don't seem to be very cool with that, so we decided to do it ourselves. And yeah, they're like, man, that does suck. It brings to the attention that there is a lot of vagueness around clones. It's like, what if someone like Gabby, who's a child and a good person, but is also a clone, what if she dies? Does she get resurrected? And it turns out, yeah, honestly, because Cerebro registers her as a mutant, even though she's a clone. But in any case, Ron tries to be like, man, I'm sorry, but why didn't you just come for me? Why didn't you ask me? And they said, because you were the last person to see her alive. And Ron doesn't seem to have any memories of this happening.
He's like, that doesn't check out with me.
Couldn't be me. Not at all. Not possible.
Nope. Not what happened in my head.
No, that's not what happened at all. And they're like, no, that you definitely were. You dismissed her, and you just like shoot her away or something. Oh no, they said that you brought her to Shadow King, and then she's never been seen since. At that moment, we cut over to Danny Moonstar and Sean talking about Ron and how she seems to be like kind of losing her edge, and it is very closely involved with the Shadow King. We then cut back to, there's the space adventure with the kids fighting Brood. And we cut back to Arbor Magna, where Gabby was resurrected. Yay! She made it. And yeah, so that worked out. The second she sees Ron, though, she just pulls up with her claws and attacks her immediately. And Ron's like, oh my God, I wish I could remember and I wish I could undo it, but I'm very sorry. My heart aches for you guys. I want to be an ally to you guys. But the thing I do remember is the Shadow King, So it's crazy, but I think the guy named the Shadow King is behind all of our miseries and pain. It's really funny.
Don't quote me, but
hey, who's keeping tabs on the guy who calls himself the Shadow King and just seems to hang out by himself until he wants to manipulate children into killing other people? What's that guy doing?
No one's
no one knows
checking
him?
on him.
No,
Just the children.
All right. Whatever. I mean, what are you gonna do? Second chance for everyone here on Krakoa.
I mixed Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Even with the weirdo magic stuff.
Even with him being whipped by his family. In the meantime, so basically, like, are we gonna get in trouble because we resurrected a clone? And the five are like, no, we got this. We're our resurrection. We're in charge of that. And if the council has some problems with that, they can come talk to us.
Real gangster.
Yeah, I'm like, go fucking the five, dude. Hell yeah.
Well, it's called partner, but it should be called gangster time.
Just say, yeah, they'll be alright. We'll talk to them about it later. Y'all go on and figure this out, kids.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. They're being independent thinkers. And I mean, some of these people are incredibly, stupidly next level powerful.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah. What are you going to do again?
What's a Magneto to them, right? Locked up.
The master of magnets. Meanwhile, Ron pulls up to the New Mutant squad, and she's like, yo, I think Shadow King's up to something. I promised not to reveal this, but apparently he killed another mutant, and I just kept that under my hat this whole time. So, good times. But I'm done working for him. Please help me fight him. And everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna fuck up the Shadow King now. But the issue ends with the Shadow King just vibing. I guess on the cliffside, just like, yes, come for me, children. Come and play. Yeah. He's ready.
This is one of the best pictures I've ever seen. Like in a comic book. For real. This is, I'm not saying it's top 10 or anything like that, but it's top something, bro.
Yeah, he's just like,
top something. Look at that face.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm gross and scary with my fez. Look at my pencil mustache and my fez. This is
his face is way too big for those glasses. I was trying to figure out, are the glasses too small or is his face too big? Yeah. I think I'm leaning toward the latter.
Yeah, it's got to be normal sized glasses that just don't fit on his ginormous head.
Yeah.
He's probably 8 feet tall himself, so it's not looking good. Man,
they gotta have free healthcare on Krakoa. Like, there's no reason his teeth gotta look like that either. It's not good for you.
You're right. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, brush your teeth, dog. You're still a guy, even though you're the Shadow King. But yeah, I mean, this was a really cool issue. New Mutants is kind of, again, it has nothing to do with like the classic team as far as I know. That's not the selling point for me. It's more like the kids that we're getting to know now and their whole conflict with the Shadow King, which is interesting because I think like the issue very much plays it like that, where the old generation is kind of taking a back seat to the newer kids.
Yeah, even in their B and C plots.
Yeah, which I appreciate. Focus on what's coming, what's new, the next gen of Mutant. I'm here for it. Yeah, I liked it. It's been a while, New Mutants is finally starting to grow on me. I don't know about you, Josh. I think it's like
it is. I'm looking forward to each book that comes out more recently.
Yeah, no, I agree. But with that being said, I think that's all I have to say.
I just want to say one last thing.
Yeah, go for it.
So where it synergizes with Hellions is that when the kids brought up Resurrection, which you already mentioned, but just to focus, they specifically talked about how clones aren't supposed to be resurrected, and Cosmar, the kids. I don't remember who in particular, but the kids, mentioned that to the Five and was like, "Yo, like, we heard what's said about Madeline about how she was a clone, so they're not gonna resurrect her." And the Five was like, "Nah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, you guys count as individuals, or at least Cerebro does, and if Cerebro creates an individual as a backup, you are, what was the word they used?
Entitled to a resurrection.
Entitled, yes, the word was entitled. I was going to say they valid for resurrection, but yes, the word, yeah, they're entitled. They ought to be resurrected.
Yeah.
And that was a very, I don't even want to say progressive. That was a very empathetic way of looking at it, and that's the way things are supposed to be. That's what most of these people believe the island's supposed to be about anyway. Regardless of what Charles and Moria and Magneto has planned and all that.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are the linchpin of the whole society. No, I was about to say these guys are the linchpin of the whole society. So if they say something goes, I don't think that you're going to argue with them.
Or at least they're going to have to really come with an excellent argument, because they're not just little kids that they can shoo off.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We can.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. That was those were the X books. A good couple of X books. Also, Batman was great.
Yeah, really good ones.
Yeah, we had a good week in
Batman
American
was really
comics.
good. Solid American comics. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move onward. World Trigger.
All right.
This is World Trigger chapter 212, the Away Mission Test, part 10. Last we left off, we had 1 chapter, and now we have 2. So
yes,
yes, all is right with the world. Last we left off, we found out the rankings of everybody, all the separate teams during the first special exam and the first day of the away mission test, and Suwa squad, which includes Osamu and a couple other and Katori and who was the last guy in their squad? I don't even remember. Oh, the sniper from OG squad. They all ended up at the very bottom of the rankings. So, that's not good. And meanwhile, Kodera, the last chapter ended with Kodera calling Suwa to ask him for something. And Suwa's like, "What? What do you need to know?" And basically, Kodera asks him to know about the personal scores for everyone on Suwa's squad. Suwa's immediately like, "Huh? Why should I tell you that? How would that help us?" And he's like,
right.
He's like, "Well, I'll share my squad scores with you too." He's like, "I don't give a fuck about your scores." And Kodera's like, "True, that's fair." So he's like, just because we ended up dead last, you think you're safe dealing with us losers? Is that what you're thinking, Kodera? He's like, "No." And there's just like an awkward silence on the phone, just like. And as Kodera's about to hang up, he's like, "Sorry, I should have asked differently." And he's like, "I got plus 22, and my members got around 15 points each, except for Katori." But he thinks that part. But he says, "But that's all you're getting from me." And then he gives Kodera advice. Just we get a little bit more shades of Suwa throughout this as we go along. But this is the first.
We sure do. Yeah.
Where he basically explains is like, Are you trying to make a deal with us, or is it just info you're after? Because, you got to be more clear when you're asking things, otherwise people will think you sus. So Kodera's like, "That's cool." And he's like, "If
Maybe
it's
got some juice for him, yo."
Yeah, he said, "And if it's deals
really
that you're after, if you're trying to make a deal, then come up with a juicy incentive from the start. Without that, you just come off as a crappy haggler." And Kodera's like, "Thanks for the tip."
And people will either dismiss a crappy haggler or take advantage of one.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Bad look.
We get little shots of Ikoma cooking throughout this, which is actually kind of important later. I just wanted to drop that real fast. Kodera then calls Kuruma squad to talk about it. And Kuruma explains that the team got an average of 13 points per person. So... he asks, "What about you? What did you guys get?" And apparently Kodera, in terms of the A rank scores, definitely got lower. Was on the lower side because their single digits their average amongst the A rank squads was in the single digits. So they're like, that's interesting. He explains that apparently he tried to limit the length of debate to keep it from taking up time, but since they had less time to voice their thoughts, maybe the A rank squads didn't really witness as much discussion to evaluate on, and that's maybe what they're thinking why Kodera got ranked so low. Ikoma's still cooking, and they keep just keeping track of all the people they get information from, their averages essentially. So yeah, he's basically, and one of the squad mates is like, "Are you sure this is even really important to think about?" And it's because it's such a small fraction of the points. Why is it doesn't feel like it really matters? And Kodera says what if the A rank evaluation points are calculated uses some kind of multiplier formula? Because it could look low for us, but in terms of how it's being graded overall, there could just be more to the score itself than just what we see. So I want to see, how we can improve that. Because it may have an effect on us down the road.
I mean, I like how he made a point about, this section is highlighted. Mm-hmm. So, and he said it comes down to two things. It's either going like the way the numbers is looking, it's either going to be something that really matters or something that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
And since it's highlighted and it's some sort of criteria, well, I'm going to lean towards it probably really mattering, and I'm going to focus on it. I thought that was smart. I thought that was a really it would have been real easy to be lazy about it. I don't even really say lazy, to not put too much thought into it and say, hey, whatever, it probably isn't going to be that big of a deal. Let's not overthink this and focus on other things. I think there's merit, to point that out, especially as a leader.
Yeah.
As the de facto leader of the team.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Meanwhile, in the monitor room, the captain of the all-girl A-rank squad, I think her name is Kato. I could be wrong, but yeah, her and the operator of my nightmares is just like sitting there, like she's like,
yes, who is that? How they look the whole time?
Yeah, I thought this was just like a funny face she was making, but this is just this is how she looks. Just like, what the fuck? Because she's so crazy different from everyone else. It's unbelievably noticeable, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. But yeah, she's this A-rank captain is basically like, Kodera sure shows worry all over his face. I'd like to take away points for that.
Damn.
He's like, ooh, you look unsure. You look mighty unsure, Kodera. And the operator just like disagrees completely. She gives him +2 points. Because he's just not worried. He's not just worried. He's like, he's thinking about it deeper than he's using critical thinking. He's, worried about his squad mates. Like, he's just trying to cover all his bases for his people.
Right.
So that was cool. She terrifies me, but she has a good point. So yeah, they're basically like, okay, I mean, if Kodera is that worried about it, we should change our strategy then. I think next time we should just speak our minds more and just have more of our thoughts stated, and then maybe that'll give the A-rank squads a little more to talk about or think about. So they start eating. We cut over to OG's squad, and everybody is really enjoying Ikoma's food. Is like, whoa, this is really good, Ikoma. And then we cut. Ikoma has like a little flashback as to, I guess, the impotence that allowed him to be good at cooking. And he apparently asked Kakizaki and Jin a hobby to make him a chick magnet. And Jin's like, oh, that's easy. You should just learn how to cook, man. That's the trick. And he's like,
that actually, I would imagine it is.
I mean,
man.
It is. He's like, give me a break. When could I ever show that off? And it happens. And then we cut to the present where he's like, Jin, bless you, bro. I wonder if Jin saw this in the future. This moment where
right.
he had to cook in their ship.
One of the possibilities.
And Ikoma's actually crying because this is happening to him. And they're like, whoa, are you crying? I fucking love Ikoma, dude. Ikoma's probably my favorite character in this whole series. I love that guy.
It's up there.
So yeah, that worked out. As he's crying, the monitor room cuts over to the A-rank squad, and they're like, whoa, he's a secret chef? Style points for him. But Midorikawa makes the point that if he keeps showing off like that, he'll run through their supplies. So
yeah,
demerit, I guess.
Like Amatori always asking for rice.
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna happen when you run out?
Ooh, you're not gonna have any rice no more?
Oh shit, she's gonna turn angry and shoot everybody up.
With her ultimate trion cannon.
Mm-hmm.
They even talk a little bit about, how everybody else handled food while they're on the subject. There are only a couple squads that actually planned out full menus for all 7 days, so they're covered on food, which is smart. We also meet the HQ chief engineer that we've never seen before. His name is Raizo Terashima. I think that's his name. Oh, damn. Yeah, I said it. Raizo Terashima. So they're like, that's good. So yeah, Suwa is among the squads that, had everyone plan like a meal plan for the 7 days. So everything's good. Now everybody starts to go through showers. They have this box in the bathroom that they throw their clothes in, and it breaks down into try-on and then becomes new clothes, which is pretty cool. That's why they they had them change before the test so they can have this dope-ass try-on clothes. So everyone showers, and then we cut over to basically Wakamura squad where Hughes is, and they say, "Hey, Hughes, the shower's free," and Hughes is like, "I'll shower in the morning." So yeah, now they're gonna figure out the room assignments, because as it stands, there's one capsule bed that is secret from everyone else. They can sleep there, and there's like 2 bedrooms as well. So they usually break up. Like, I guess squads usually like take shifts who's going to sleep in the capsule first.
Yeah. It's a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom, and a capsule.
Yeah, I'd like to think...
And then it's the operator room.
I'd like to think the capsule was specifically put there for Hughes.
Right? If not by the higher-ups, then definitely from the author being like, yeah, I don't know how else to go about this.
Because
we're going to put 2 single rooms.
Yeah, because this is why. Because we then cut over to a flashback of Reiji, who is on Tamakoma 1, talking about addressing the sleep thing, which is something we've talked about, actually. Because he can't sleep in his Tryon body, so we have to go back to his regular body, and his regular body has the horns from After Couture. So they're just trying to figure out what exactly what to do about that. And he says, Reiji apparently says when they mentioned the top breath, when he mentioned it to the top breaths, they told him like he could figure it out himself. So he says here that they're suggesting there's a solution, and you just have to find it, which is why I think they put the capsule bed there in everyone's thing to stave off suspicion that it was for use the whole time. By making every squad have to deal with the capsule bed. Yeah. This is so funny. That makes complete sense. Yeah. This is the funniest part, is that the way Hughes finds a way to sleep into the capsule, he basically goes like, "Forgive me, but I need to use the 1-person room. We Canadians can't sleep in the company of others."
Yo, I just looked at the page like, is this nigga dead ass serious? There's nobody else from Canada or know anybody from Canada or...
Mikhail,
and nobody could check him like, yeah, you're lying. That's
ridiculous what you're saying right now. Because the only other neighbor is actually the engineer for Tamakoma, and he says he's also
Canadians as well.
Yeah, he says he's also from Canada. In fact, Hughes is supposed to be his cousin, and that's his cover. It's so funny. He's just like, I need Canadians, and they're like, what? Are Canadians that fussy? And they're like, no, I've seen movies and TVs, and Canadians are just like everyone else. And Hughes is like, lies, all of it. The media does not portray Canadians accurately.
Yeah, he held on to that very strongly, man.
I mean, he committed. He was in it, and he says like, authentic Canadians must have their own rooms at all times. And he's like, what? Everybody's like, what? I don't.
And carry a bottle of maple.
Yeah. Yeah, a whole bottle of maple syrup. And then he's like, or I could just sleep in the capsule the whole time. So everybody's just like, all right, I guess you can sleep in the capsule. Okay, weirdo. You can sleep in the capsule if you want.
If you say so.
It's really funny.
Go for it, buddy.
So
it's smooth. I'm not mad that they gave it an easy fix, seemingly.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. I think the funniness of it kind of like makes it easy for a lot of, easy to let it slide. I thought it was really cool. Yeah. But the chapter ends when everybody's going to bed, and Suba tells Osamu that he has something that he needs to hear. Dun dun dun.
Oh man, to be continued.
Right now, because we have a whole ass new chapter again. So we cut immediately to what we left off last time. Sua's like, I need to tell you guys something. I need to tell you something, Osamu. You know how they gave us the rules for the battle sims? Did you see those yet? And basically, the rules are that they're doing 10 matches total every day. And it's through a computer, so it's not really them fighting.
Oh.
That's why this is important. So the units that they use in order to do these battles have different stats every time. So, some people will be stronger than they usually are. Some people will be weaker than they usually are. But in terms of battle resources, this means that Osamu could be a burden to the squad because he's not particularly strong. He doesn't have a lot of Tryon. And also, Osamu's biggest asset, which is his creativity and usage of all these triggers, will be kind of useless at this point because they're not going to have as much room for creativity.
Very restricted.
Because the simulations will
as far as options go.
Yeah, because the simulations will probably not be able to replicate these creative plans in that way. So, and Suwa's not saying this to put him down. In fact, he's saying it to be, give him a little bit of a confidence boost. It's just like, hey, I know that this is happening. Even if you do wind up slowing us down, I've already taken that into account. So don't lose your head about it. And don't keep quiet. Just keep the ideas coming, and it'll give you an edge on the A rank judging. So
it was like the big brother Nakumo needed.
For real, man.
Not a deadbeat like Jane.
Yeah, for real. I mean, Sua's really stepping up, man. Who knew? Sua was just kind of like this punk, this cool.
You knew, man.
I mean, I always liked Sua.
Your favorite characters.
I said it up top. I always like Sua. I said it in a previous highlight when we talked about
our respect level is quickly rising.
Yeah, I mean,
these two chapters.
But I liked him because he, just on the surface, he was just the badass loose cannon type guy. But this is a little bit more of a layer, He's just kind of like this delinquent with a heart of gold type kind of guy. I like it. I like those kind of guys, dependable. Big fan. So, yeah. Even then, they started well, even if we end up losing, Katori's gonna get mad at me. And Sue was like, yeah, don't let her get to you. In fact, she was in a good mood today, honestly. And if she's in a bad mood, she just straight up won't talk to you. So, I know that much. But he makes it known that Katori's probably going to be our ace when all is said and done. She was the top of our pack in the individual rankings, even though she seemed to be spacing out. So, there's a lot of potential with Katori. The only thing that's kind of hindering her is her temper. So it all depends on how she's feeling on any particular day. But she could be highly valuable to us in the battle overall. But yeah, that's where the night ends. They're like, all right, let's go rest up. Let's do this thing. Everybody washes their clothes in that same, I guess, try-on thing.
Yeah, they put the blankets and sheets and all of that. I really wish we had something like that in the real world.
God, yeah. How easy would it be with a try-on washing machine?
I'd pay as much money as it takes, man.
Yeah, it's humanly possible. I'd give all my try-on.
And then you get different designs back. It doesn't just give you the same shit.
Yeah, it's true.
You can literally just get one article of clothing per, and have it change every day.
I just make New Jump City t-shirts. I think that'd be great.
Different kinds and variations.
Yeah, different variations. That'd be lit. But yeah, they do that. They have this case there as well, and the case has a mouse and a headset, and I guess it's for their game. But yeah, that worked out. Meanwhile, back at Wakamura's squad, they're going to make their call as far as Hughes's idea going forward, where they're, I guess, sharing answers with each other in order to make things go on a little smoother than last time. And Rokudare's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the best way. Because it doesn't seem to matter that it's about, like, there's cheating on the test itself. This is very much the Naruto thing where it's like, I wanted to test your resources in getting answers, even if you cheat.
Yeah.
So
that was really dope.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. So they open up their battle sim data and we get the basic rules of it. Each unit's stats and triggers are reflective of the previous Rank Wars season. So for each match, select up to 2 units whose trigger loadouts can be reassigned. Any unit may be controlled by any squad member. It's not super. I'm sure we'll get definitely more details down the road, but they seem to have standard mutants, all 8 for every match, and a backup unit of different.
Yeah, now that looked interesting.
Yeah, the backup units, they have a Tachikawa, Izumi. I think this guy is the shooter guy.
The
sniper guy Toma, and I had this guy's Kazama. I think
is he an attacker? Isn't he like
Kazama? I think that's his name is Kazama. Yes, he's the number 3 squad.
Yeah. Okay, I remember. Real short guy too.
Yeah, a little short guy. So yeah, that's where the chapter ends, where the day 2 is about to begin, and they're about to go into the battle section. I wonder how this is gonna look. It's obviously not going to be a rank war like we've known it.
No, yeah, which you don't want to do too much of that.
Yeah, I mean, I could watch it forever, but it's fine.
For sure. But I'd rather, as long as it comes back.
I agree. I'm fine with something new as well. Man, what a great couple chapters. I'm so glad because like this series is kind of like difficult to read one chapter at a time every month, and every chapter is the standard jump length. So, I enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. I don't know what the battle award is going to be about, what it's all going to be. Maybe you guys can drop your theories below in the comments and let us know what you think the battles are going to be like.
What developments y'all think we're going to see? I mean, there's 2 off the top of my head. I mean, there's Katori's specialty and Mikumo learning new things about battle.
Mm-hmm.
That he can apply to real life. You know what I'm saying, to himself. That's what this looks like to me, because it's very bare bones and to the point, so it's nothing fancy or extra, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So Mikumo could learn the basics while going against other people who can only do the basics. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with Katoria, it allows her to focus on something in particular, and maybe she'll use it so much she'll get a liking to it,
Mm-hmm.
And finally settle down on what role she wants to be. But who knows? It might not even be like that at all. It might be like animated chess or something.
Yeah.
Or Advance Wars.
Yeah. But that's all I gotta say about World Trigger this month. Always happy to see World Trigger, no matter what.
For sure.
Very here for it. I suppose we should move on now. Black Clover. This is Black Clover chapter 304, Reality and Magic. Last we left off, Noelle and Nozel defeated Megicula with their sibling team-up power. And that's where the chapter ends. Everything starts to dissolve around Megicula's magic. And the curse dissolves off of Laura Pachica. Asta is holding Laura Pachica's now naked body. It's like, fuck! I didn't see anything, I promise. Noelle goes into full tsundere mode. Punches Asta. Is like, what are you doing? She gives Laura Pachica a hug. Just very happy that Laura Pachica made it. He's like, what was that for? And she's like, shut up, baka! All that stuff. Back to tsundere Noelle. And I guess, like, people just start dying now. After that, he basically Charlotte and Rill start to pass away. Gaja also starts to die as well. And everybody's like, Gaja, Captain Charlotte, Captain Rill. Laura Pachica tries to save everybody with her water recovery magic, but it's not working because wounds can't heal. And I'm like, oh my god, are they going to kill Gaja right now? Are they going to kill Charlotte and Rill? And
I was like, Charlotte's going to die before she even gets to see Yams?
He's like, oh no. And then that's when Nox summons the only person who can possibly heal these wounds right now, this second. Mimosa pulls up. And she heals everyone. So that works out.
Ultimate plant magic, flower, princess, utopia.
That's fine.
Which really just means... You know what? I don't have anything clever to say about it, bro. It fixes everything, makes them perfect. And that's it. Yeah. Must be nice.
It's fine. Yeah, I let it go.
Let Neji wish he had that.
If only. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is fine. I'm not gonna harp on it. Whatever. I have no.
No, yeah, I'm not mad.
Yeah, I have no reason to be like, they should have stayed dead. That's not the kind of series Black Clover is. But it's fine. Everybody's back. She's just like, oh my god, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I can't believe it. You almost died for me. And Gaja's like, no, it was no more than my duty as spirit guardian. And there's an awkward silence. And then Noah's like, don't you people have anything else to say? And Gaja just drops, I love you. And everybody's like, whoa. And he's like, not as my queen, but as a woman, what I feel for you is... And it's kind of like regular. I appreciated it. I thought this was a very sweet moment. Very cute. How many times do you see something like this, It's like, confession of love. I think this is the end of the road for Black Clover. I think we're coming towards the end of the series. Whatever this is going to be the end. But in any case, they're like, yes, let's get this ship going. And next we cut over to the inside of the castle where not Yami. Wait, that's his name, Yami, right? I don't know why I blanked on his name. Rival guy. That's Yami. No, that's not Yami. Yami's the shadow guy. Who Damn it. I haven't seen him in so long.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I can't believe I forgot. Sorry. Mix up in my brain. So Yuno's out here just fighting Zeno? I think that's his name.
Bone Man.
Kimimaro Plus Deluxe.
Yeah, yeah.
Kimimaro Deluxe.
The one that's not sick.
Yeah.
For the disease.
And he's like, you're only wasting time. I'll end this. And I guess Yuno and Langris are on the ropes. And Langris is like, Curses, what do we do now? And he says, buy me 3 minutes. I'll finish him with my next attack. And that's where the chapter ends. It was cool. I like this chapter fine. I'm hoping next chapter will be pretty cool for Yuno. Have him have this cool moment where he avenges William Vengeance.
And grinds bones to dust with just wind. That would be interesting to watch.
With strictly air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm into it. I don't have a lot of thoughts on Black Clover this week, except for this was a very fun one. Very heartwarming with Gaja and Laura Pachica, so I'm into it. Ready to close it out with our final series, Josh?
Yes.
Let's go!
Rocket to punch!
I tried to pick a somewhat fitting final drop.
Yeah.
This is Undead Unluck. Chapter 76, Reach the Speed of Light. Gotta go fast. Okay, so basically we cut back to a flashback where Andy's explaining the most dangerous man in this operation has got to be Undecreased Creed. He has ammo. The ammo for his weapon will never decrease. even with undead abilities, like his power will probably just overwhelm me. So I won't be able to regenerate, or keep up. My regeneration won't be able to keep up, and I'll just be helpless. So
yeah, like he's not saying he'll kill him. He's just saying like, I won't. I mean, I'll just be a part of the blood and guts
constantly.
Various other biological fluids.
Yeah. But you guys are different because Chikara has the ability to unmove he has a move to stop his barrage, and Top has unstoppable which will allow him to attack while he is unmoved. And that's where we cut to where we left off last time, where the plan was going into effect. Top managed to hit Creed in the back of his head while Chikara had him unmoved. And I guess he saw this coming kind of, because as Unmoved starts to move, takes a closer look, he notices that Creed has a fucking flash grenade in his hand, and it just explodes, blinding Chikara temporarily, allowing Creed to move, and Top just starts like having to sprint because he's like, fuck, he's not gonna run out of bullets no matter how long I dodge. I gotta push myself to close the gap. And then all he sees is this like rubble, and he seems to be like using the ceiling rubble and the dust particles to counteract him and unmove. So, I guess he was just like he just like hit himself in this weird makeshift cavern for a second.
Yeah, using the rubber that he shot down, chasing the Unstoppable down. It was actually pretty clever for someone I thought was going to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Top just like kicks off the thing, and oh man, it's rough because he just pulls out Chikara, and he seems to have knocked out Chikara's eyes. I thought, like, did he yank his eyes out? Shit.
Yo, that's what I was thinking. Like, they made it seem real dramatic, like, oh. But, I mean, it's still pretty bad. I think what he did, not only did he flashbang his eyes, he kind of punched his face in.
Yeah.
I think is what it looks like. So, I don't know. He made it seem like he lost the ability to use his eyes, but that's clearly not the case.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's like, oh, shit.
We'll see.
So, Top tries to attack. He manages to get Chikara out of there, and Creed just starts to shoot uncontrollably again, and he's like, we won't be able to finish me. But till Unmove activating, you guys had the upper hand, but now, you're fucked. Getting shallow help from a shallow ability user ain't enough to beat me. What's being a fast runner gonna do? So he basically he shoots Chikara in the leg again, so that like he can't like keep steady, because part of Unmove is that not only does Chikara have to be looking at you, he can't be moving himself. So he won't be able to stay still, writhing from the pain of just getting shot through the shins. It's not. Yeah. So he basically Chikara's like, Top, I'll be okay. Mr. Andy said it himself. He said that if we trusted each other and bring out the best of our ability, we'd be the strongest duo around. So Top just starts running away. He's like, wow, good job. Running away on your own is a damn fine decision. Color me impressed. Here I thought.
Damn fine decision.
Yeah. He's like, color me impressed. You two, here I thought you two were way softer.
Respect.
Yeah. And he says, you don't get it. Entrusting someone's life to you, entrusting your life to someone else terrifies you. But, Andy and Fuko taught me that our organization is filled with people risking their lives and fighting for the people and things they hold dear, which is why Top took off running, because he believes in me, and you don't have any idea of that, so you're looking down on him. And he starts to open his eyes, and he's like, that's where you're going to lose, Creed. Don't move. Not till the friend I have faith in reaches the speed of light. Pretty cool.
I mean, it shouldn't take that long considering.
Yeah. So he's just going to keep his eyes open for as long as Top takes. And I guess they're going to put in their final move into effect. That's where the chapter ends. I thought this was sick.
Cool, pretty cool. I like how they didn't give up. Creed is, he's a tough guy, man.
It's a fun battle.
That ability is pretty crazy. Yeah, this is nice. It's, I didn't know how long they was going to drag it out for, but I think 2 or 3 chapters is plenty.
Yeah, it's a standard battle in a shonen manga, 2-3 chapters.
It was real interesting how Creed was talking to him, because he was like, "Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like the little man's did his job. He was a punk ass bitch before, but now he's standing up to me using his ability. But you, lame ass, you couldn't even take advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like he made a good point. And I was like, yeah, man, you can't hit hard, bro. Like you can't hit hard enough to hurt Creed.
Yeah,
he's still just a regular human, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's a bulky guy. I guess speed doesn't equate to strength, but what do I know?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean either way, fun ass chapter. Undead Unluck is fun when it's getting into its own battles. The power system's fun as usual. I had a good time reading it. I read it. This is one of the chapters I read like a couple times, just because it was very fun to read.
Yeah, I
favorite.
went back and forth between it a handful of times as well.
Yeah, but that's all I got to say about it. Undead Unluck. Any more thoughts before we close this out?
Negative.
Then let's do it. That was Undead Unluck, and this has been our show. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for listening, as per usual. A little bit of a long one, but we had a bit of a gauntlet going. You can find me at the Chris Espinal, Josh at JDCole_37, Brian at B.ESP, all on Twitter and Instagram. Follow show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram as well. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about. Subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are on there. I did the email, right? newjumpcitypod@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. The video versions go up a little later than the audio versions, so if you want to hear the show first, you'd probably want to subscribe audio, but the videos go up every Friday at the very least. So subscribe to us there, like, share, comment your thoughts, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the easiest spot to communicate with us. I guess aside from social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, through the YouTube comments, let us know.
Oh yeah. And with that being said, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week. We'll be doing the in-person episode next week. So hell yeah, we'll be back in person. So tune in for that. And stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out.